This is the brief on the Italian Winter Olympics unrest. So, the Winter Games in northern Italy have officially kicked off. But, instead of all the focus being on the medals, the country is dealing with some pretty serious stuff. We're talking angry street protests and even attacks on the railways. First, let's talk about the protests in Milan. On the very first day of competition, thousands of people were out marching. Now, most of them were peaceful, but some groups started throwing stones and flares, and police had to respond with water cannons. 6 people were arrested. So what's all the anger about? It really comes down to the money. Protesters feel like billions were spent on things like roads instead of protecting the mountains, all while regular people are just struggling with the cost of living. Second, there was sabotage on the railways. Yep, on that same day, the train network in northern Italy was attacked. Cables were cut, fires were set on tracks near major cities like Bologna and Venice. Police even found a simple explosive device. As you can imagine, this caused chaos and long delays. The government is calling it sabotage and says it looks a lot like the attacks during the 2024 Paris Olympics. And finally, the government is cracking down, hard. Because of all this violence, they've passed some strict new security rules. Get this, police can now detain people they just suspect might cause trouble for up to 12 hours, and that's before a protest even starts. Officials are calling the rioters criminals, but critics say these new laws are just way too repressive. So while the athletes are out there competing, Italian authorities are fighting to keep control of the streets and the trains. The world is watching the games for sure, but right now, the tension in Italy, that's the biggest story.